online, but I think it's only like $79 or something.
Alright, so what you're going to want to do is bring your main amplifier into your subwoofer. Then for your amplifier, run the out through your sub into your amp. That's about it. Use all out your sub into your amplifier. What do you think of the machine?
Want to make sure I do it right. Eric, you got a flash? 5 minutes. So what do we do? Flash? 5 minutes. Of course, you know what this is.
It's got to be dark.
Like a little bit more on you. Whatever works for you.
I'm good.
You know what Troy told me last year?
Moving? Oh, nothing.
Yeah, let's make sure you're looking good and. You may not be on yet, Brian. I gotta. Are we good? We're good here. Yeah, I think we're off.
Actually, what I found a lot of things is I can't get there from my normal email, but if I do through DJ Planner, I can't. It's weird.
Yeah, that's fine.
The junk mail was going right over here.
I want to see you. There you go. Okay.
Look at this.
I know. I want to be. I'm trying to get my 15 seconds of fame. Okay, let's get things going this afternoon. In our afternoon session, we're going to do. Brian's going to be talking about some different lights, showing you some things. We're going to talk about some of the applications that he has used these with, and some of us may own some of these and have used them for different applications. It's going to be kind of a guided discussion time. You'll be able to show some things, ask questions. Feel free to, if you're wondering about capabilities, what have you. Ask away, because some of the answers you might have, some of the questions you may not have answers. That's okay. What happens? Then after that, we're going to have, we have time. We've got Triceratops. Guys going to show us some cool things at about 2:15 today, roughly, for our tentative plans, 45 minutes away. And then we'll look at some video things, talk about some of that. We're also also look at the speakers. We have the Electro Voice 8-inch. We've got the Yamaha. And we also have Brian brought an RCF 8-inch for those who are looking for like a little mini system. So looking at that, we couldn't get a K8. I wanted to get one of those also. Those are basically the four main ones. But we're looking at three nice ones to compare, take them off the stand, shake them around a little bit, listen to them, plug them in, what have you. But that'll be kind of our later afternoon, and then we'll go from there. So, Brian is kind of a YouTube guy. If you've been online, you've probably seen some of his videos. I think he's got 4 or 5 videos up now.
Yeah, something like that.
He's been working very hard to get that 5th video online. So, as soon as he
Maybe
gets it,
today we'll get it out.
maybe today we'll get that. But ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you, Brian.
Who's from Minnesota? You are the nicest people I think I've ever met. You know, I'm driving in traffic on my way here. I'm like, there's no way I'm going to get over to get on my exit. And I put my signal, and I look back, and there are like 10 car lengths behind me. It doesn't happen anywhere else in the world. Just so you guys know that. You're lucky. You're very lucky. So I won't be using the mic for the whole thing. I'll use it for the first part, because I need to do a little introduction to this and explain the method to my madness, or why I do what I do. For those of you who don't know my story, about a year and a half ago, April of 2011, I ended up having a massive stroke, and I lost most of my left side. I was blind. I had complete paralysis. And I've been a DJ since I was 13. I'm 41 now, so like a lot of you, it's the only thing I ever did well. So, you know, if something comes along in your life where all of a sudden your livelihood is threatened, it's kind of scary. Well, I slowly improved and learned to walk and all that kind of stuff with a cane. And I had a lot of gigs on the books, and a lot of them with other people. But, you know, I wanted to try to do them on my own. So in, I think, late June, I did my first one with an assistant. And that went all year. Of course, my books were full all year. You know, the booking through my agent, myself. Pardon me. And I got to thinking, you know, it really sucks to pay a guy to carry a speaker. He's useless otherwise. You know, I don't need this guy, except to carry the speaker. Nice guy. You know, but I got to explain everything to him. I got to stand there. And as you know, it's harder to tell somebody how to do something than it is just to do it yourself. So it became very frustrating for me. So last winter I got to thinking, had some downtime, I wonder if I could build a system, a DJ system, that I could physically handle myself in every way. There are a lot of things to take into consideration on this. Not only do I have to be able to physically carry this stuff, I have to be able to physically set it up. And then there are other weird logistic problems you don't think about, like winding cables. Have you ever done that with one hand before? It's not easy. So there are a lot of things you got to think about, figure out. I ended up doing it, and I went out and I did my first gig by myself, all by myself in May. And boy, that was a good feeling. I just felt liberated. I felt free. And in the process, I think I came up with some kind of cool ideas, some stuff I was already doing. And then, you know, some new stuff out of necessity. So I want to start with the non-ADJ stuff I am affiliated with, but not everything on my rig is ADJ, so I'm going to talk about the non-ADJ stuff first. Now, what we have sitting here, this teepee here, we're at an Indian casino. It's kind of appropriate, yeah? This is a Scrim King. It's a 3-sided scrim. Some people love them, some people hate them. I mean, everybody has their opinions on them. But I found it pretty useful in a lot of ways. At first, it was a cool way to cover my cables. And then it became a real intricate part of my light show. And I'll get more to that in a minute. It's on a Frankie stand. Everybody familiar with Frankie stand? You guys all know what it is? Hydraulic, or pneumatic actually. Hydraulics, water, pneumatic is gas. Speaker stands, powered speaker stands. It's assisted. So it's easy up, easy down. So those are cool. Now we know we can get the speaker up and down without hurting myself with one hand. But how are we going to get the speaker on the tripod? Well, there's a dilemma. I have to figure out how much I can pick up. So luckily, you know, I'm going to almost every trade show in the world. I'm grabbing every speaker that everybody makes, trying to pick it up to see if I can handle it and how far I can lift it in the air. And the one I found that had the easiest handle for me and the best weight was this RCF 408A. And I got real excited about it, and then I found out that they discontinued it because the woofers made of neodymium, which is really light, and Then Apple decided they wanted to use neodymium, broke the market up on that particular metal, and it pretty much priced it out for RCF. The speakers would have more than doubled the price, so it wasn't feasible for them to make them like that anymore. The new ones are, I think, about 7 or 8 pounds heavier because they use ceramic, whatever, that's geeky stuff. But at any rate, I have the lightweight ones. I got some old stock. And let me show you how I do that.
Wow.
Like that. Boy, they got ugly. They got scratched up and turned. Should have bought covers. At any rate, then it's got to go up in the air, and this is the cool part. I love this. If you haven't seen this, this is so cool. All right, rock and roll. It's in the air. And I've got these little hooks. I don't know if you guys have scrim, but if you're having a hard time figuring out how to hook your scrim onto your speaker stands, especially the new ones, because if you've noticed, the new stands, the piping on the top has gone from like 1.5 to like 1 3/8. It's kind of a little smaller, and no clamps fit this. Scrim King actually makes this cool little hook. It's like $5. You can hook your scrim onto it. So anyway, that's all my non-ADJ stuff, and that's the first thing I wanted to show you. And we will be looking at this a little more a little later on. Next thing I want to show you is this totem behind me. A lot of you already peeked at it and catched my thunder. Let me bring this down so Ed can see. Pins. There's a pin in there. It clips in place, so I don't have to hold it down and tighten it at the same time. Anybody do totems? One guy? That's it? They're pretty cool. The problem with them is that they're bulky. Box trussing is not heavy at all, but it's very bulky. And I don't know, unless you're driving a big giant vehicle, you don't necessarily want to carry this big bulky square trussing with you everywhere you go. So I saw a cool solution. I can't take credit for it. Got to give credit to David Reed at RSC Music in Reading, England. I saw this at BPM, one of the biggest DJ-only gear shows in the world. Amazing stuff. But this was by far the coolest thing I saw. Let me show you. Looks like box truss, right? See that? Nice. This is ladder truss. 2 I-beams. A small base plate and top plate. Now I normally use a bigger base plate, but this is just for demo purposes. I didn't feel like abusing myself from Milwaukee dragging that up here. But your client's not going to be able to tell. This looks like box truss. And I can tear it apart if you'd like. It stacks up real small. It's tiny. It's very compact. It's not going to take up all this room like box trusses. You're going to be able to put 2 I-beam or ladder truss beams, or 4, I guess. If you're running 2 totems, it's going to take up less space in your vehicle than 1 box truss.
I like that.
Super easy to set up, and it's going to save you money. So this is the kind of stuff I can do by myself. And for those of you wondering, what the hell is this for? Well, you can do a lot of things with it. And that's where we're going to kind of get into our lighting a little bit. These are cool to put UV heads on top of. And, you know, sometimes you use a beam, sometimes you use a head. But the cool part about this, especially aluminum, is it glows. And that's what we're going to get into our lighting today. And we'll get into that shortly. But we won't get into it right now. But I'm going to show you some kind of cool stuff that ADJ has that's new and that's made my job a lot easier. How many people uplight? Okay, how many people DMX their uplight? How many people run it static? I'm a static guy. And, you know, just pick a color, we can run it. Of course I can DMX it, but it's going to cost you 3 times the money. And, you know, because it's a hassle, right? So here, now we have these cool Mega Go cards from ADJ. They are wireless. The battery on these lights
will last 8 hours full on RGB, so that's full on. If you choose a static color like this, it'll last a lot longer. Now, if you look at the back of the room, I mean, more than enough light for just about any gig you're going to do. The cool thing about these lights is if you wanted to run a static color, let's say in a box truss or a cool ladder truss like this, it fits perfect in here. If you take the bracket off, it will fit. Now, with that in mind, if I set this flat down, we'd have what is that, about 4 inches tall? It's 4 inches from the bottom of the truss to the light source that's dark in the truss. Now that, shouldn't really matter, but wouldn't it be cool to take that space up and make it all light up? Here's a cool solution. They also make it in jelly, clear casing. This is brand new. This just came in before I left. Same thing, super bright, battery powered. This is not lithium, so if you don't keep a charge on them, you could lose memory in the battery, so you always want to keep a charge in them. Charge lasts a long time. This one's at 75% right now. I don't want to blind anybody, but as you can see, it's
I don't want to blind anybody, but let me blind you.
I'll find out. I don't mind blinding it. And could you do me a favor? Wrap it up for me. Just to save some time. And I'll show you how that fits right in there. It's kind of a cool look. Again, you're not going to have that, dead airspace or dead light space, I guess, in the ladder. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Give that a big round of applause for. Hey, that's not like a big deal, but to a guy like me, it's a very big deal. All right, so. Bam. Look at that. So the jelly kind of helps you out a little bit, and it's just kind of a cool way to use it. You can use obviously the white one, but it kind of hides in there. You don't see that black in there. It creates a really nice look. Now, obviously, you can DMX these if you want to. And in fact, they're coming out with some new stuff. It's called Wi-Flex. It's going to be battery-powered, wireless DMX. Have you all seen the, the controller, what do they call it? RGB-W4C. It's a little American DJ controller. It basically controls red, green, blue, and white, or amber, whatever your fourth light is. They're actually making that with Wi-Flex too. So you're going to be able to just have that little bitty controller, and then all of your lights hooked up to Wi-Flex, and you're done. It's all battery powered, except before you plug that in. The wireless is all open for you for complete DMX control. That's down the road, just mentioning it now. So that's not a bad look. And I do this kind of thing a lot, but what I really prefer to do, because I'm trying to keep things slimmed down on my micro system, I need bang for the buck. I need something that's going to do more than maybe just warm my truss. So, I'm going to enlist that again. Sorry. So that'd be the first time I've tried this. You've seen. Should work. I'm thinking it'll work. Pop that one for me yet? This is brand new. It's the Mega Tri Par 64. 3-watt Tri-LEDs. It's a little brighter. And what this will do is not only warm my truss, but what it should do, and we're going to test it, I'm thinking it's going to work, it's also going to wash the room with a dance floor area. We're going to call this a dance floor. It's fun into it. That's worth it. I like when you talk.
Yay, I'm winning brackets.
Just a second here. Plug it in. This is not battery powered. Let's get it in here first. Pardon me, if you're going to be funny, speak up so everybody can hear you. Watch your hands. Yeah, see, it's a little brighter. And can we bring the lights up for a second? Let's see how much wash we get out of this. Quite a bit of wash. That's one light. Imagine one on each side. Do you really need extra cars to wash your dance floor? At this point, you've got a nice light wash. You've got something cool and visual to see here. So stuff like this is a cool option for you. Go ahead and break it. Pardon? Yeah, well, this is aluminum anyway, so you're already getting the reflection somewhat. I mean, if I can tip it up, so you're already getting some reflection there. Just get a buffer. Oh, shit, right up. So that's the new big guy. Megatri 64 LED. And actually, this Ed was so kind. Here, let's go ahead and pass these around these goes if you want to check them out, turn them on and play with them a little bit. There's two switches on here you have to hit the lights come on. One's to actually turn the power on, one's to turn the light on. So here's the... You don't have to. You can have a little play with it.
Roughly how much do they run price-wise?
The goes? John, what are the goes so according to you? They're under 2, I think.
Yeah, I think they're mapped at 199 or somewhere in that ballpark.
That's MAP. That's
Yeah.
never pay MAP, just so you know. Just, sorry, Pat. Don't pay MAP.
Do I ever charge anybody in this room out?
No. Yes.
Brian, you must not be talking to her.
John has this way.
Pain in the ass fee.
This is a Make Go Bar 50. Same concept. It's a bar. If you like bar lights, these are really cool for even like a column. Let me ring. Well, you can't.
I can't.
But just hold it back there. See, if this was on the floor, see the size of this? This is like the perfect light for a column like this. It lights it up great. You know, no dead space or anything. Obviously, we're kind of holding it up weird, but yeah, these are really cool. They're small. And notice, does anybody own any Megabar 50s? The old school ones? This isn't any bigger. They actually put the battery in a regular, casing. They didn't change the design of this at all. Here, you want to check it out. It's essentially the same thing this time. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah. You can actually charge all those if you use an IUC extension. You can daisy chain them all together. I think I hit some buttons on there, but it's the same thing if you got an old school one. Although, I'm not trying to, some of the battery powered stuff that's out there right now, it looks like they hooked the battery up for a Honda motorcycle on the bottom of it. And I don't personally like that. I don't want a big chunky light. I like to have the smallest light possible. Yeah. And if you're running static, this is a beautiful way to go.
How many hours generally on
battery? 8 hours full on RGB, but that is greatly extended. If you're only running one static color or you're mixing colors, it can go up to 12 plus. Wow. If you're only running blue, for instance. But if you're running red, green, and blue, creating a white effect, it's an 8, like that one is right now, it's 8 hours. So, and then there is actually a little readout on there that tells you what your battery life is. So right now, I think the one they have in their hands is 75%. I've done gigs with them. I've forgotten to charge them, and done another 6 hours with the next gig with, just a static color, like a blue or a green or red or whatever, or even a little mix like a magenta.
If you know you're getting low on the battery, you can pretty much have it plug it in and just have it just...
Absolutely, and I've done that at gigs before too. During dinner, I don't really need some of these lights, so I plug them in behind me just to get a little bit of the charge on it, get like 2 hours on it or something like that. More than 6 weeks would be evening. So, but yeah, full charge, to take you 6 to 8 hours initially. But if you keep up on it, they're cool options. It's a real cool option. The technology is relatively new, but what I'm happy to see again is there's no multi-car battery or car battery on it. That's just kind of unsightly. So while we looked at that, we kind of got the point on this. I got a couple more lights I want to show you. Is everybody familiar with the Megabar profile, the original one? It's a cool little light. It's under $100. And it's essentially red, green, blue, kind of like those over there. Of course, you have to plug this one in. It's a little horrible way to get started with your uplighting. Very durable. The casings are like telephone plastic, if you remember those. And something really cool about these that I like, and I haven't really seen in any other lights, even these, collapsible yokes. So if you're using yokes on any of this stuff, it won't collapse on you. Something else cool about these, all these I'm showing you, on the bottom, there are rubber feet. And that's also where your control panels, where your buttons are. You can eliminate the yoke and set it flat down. It won't hurt anything. You take the yoke off and you can go round and round with it, just like we did on the tow bar. So you've got options. If you want to pass that around to me, if you want to check it out. This is the tri-LED version. Essentially the same wattage, about 18 watts, but you get truer color mixing always when you're mixing the tri-LED. So here's another one. Anybody wants to check that out?
How do you like the QA Part 38?
The QA Part 38? You mean this one?
Yeah.
These are great.
Yeah, back here.
This is brand new. This is brand new. If you compare it, can I see one of those? Just hold it up. See a size comparison on this. As you can see, it's a little smaller than the traditional megapart profile. But it's quality. Red, green, blue, and amber on this. QA Quad 8 is what it stands for. And I just want to plug it in so you guys can kind of see how bright it is. Because it's only 3, right? You think, well, that's not going to be very bright, though. Thing is, these are new technology, new lenses. Things are pretty bright on this. Okay, you're not going to run into these, I think, situations where you're going to say, wow, this is going to hang on the wall that I've got here. No, look at that. It's super duper bright. It's a relatively narrow beam angle. And you know, for most of us who are doing openings, don't we want a narrow beam angle? I mean, you don't want to speak widely because you want to highlight architectural details. Columns or create columns on blank walls, like behind us. It's not very interesting, but if we put maybe an uplight in each corner and then one in the middle, we've created, you know, some texture on that wall. And I think that's kind of where it's at. That's how I like to do it personally, anyway. And all of this stuff, back to our scrimmage tripod here. Looks pretty cool behind this. It's like 2 effects in one. I mean, it's aimed kind of weird here. I could get a wider beam angle and work pretty well under here. But I end up with 2-in-1 effect when I'm DJing, and it helps me. Makes that glow. It's four main functions at the same time. And you can do this with, you know, virtually any LED fixture.
Yeah, that one I don't think so bad. Yeah.
Pardon?
I have no idea.
Brian, how much do those run? They nap at 139. I heard somebody told me yesterday they come for 180. Brian, what about you? Those are about the same price, actually.
These are not battery powered.
No, those are not.
Nice, nice.
No, these are kind of the deal right now. I think But see, I mean, like I said, this isn't a real white beam angle and a single light, but I've got a 2-in-1 effect that's pretty cool. And I can hook that up to a little controller, like I was talking about, the RGB W4C. You can do strobe, space, for slow dances. I can do sound, active, I can do built-in patterns. All kinds of neat stuff. It's so simple. And simple for me, and easy, is definitely where it's at. So there's, I also have this, make it jelly profile, or jelly part profile. Essentially the same as the megapart profile, but clear. Again, under $100. This is not battery powered. This is the regular, you know, AC version. But again, really cool stuff. If you want to warm a tone, so you don't have to use the big 64 version. You can use the smaller one and get almost as much light. One more thing I had to show you, and I'll take any questions on anything at all you have. I'll do my best. As cool as this is and as easy as this is, sometimes I want something a little more wow, I guess. Now this guy right here, this is my favorite right now. Do you know color beam? The moving head beam. Now the difference between a beam and a wash, the beam has a narrow beam angle. It's like straight up, like a lightsaber kind of. Where a wash has a wider beam angle. So these are real popular for nightclubs. These are real popular for like American Idol. They use these a lot when they're, you know, flipping around, or X Factor, or America's Got Talent. You see a lot of beam fixtures. They're real hot right now. This is RGB diodes. I believe these are 3 watts in here, so it's super bright, and you'll see this in a minute. And again, forgive me for doing this. I'm going to blind you. I'm trying to show you how bright it is. It's very bright. And when I first got this thing, I was trying to figure out how I was going to use this light without blinding people. It's just that bright. No, it's the good stuff. Don't worry about it. It'll warm up and does this little thing. But yeah, I just couldn't figure out for the life of me how to use this thing because it's so bright. I had a smaller version of this out a while back, and people were complaining. It's like that's not even cool. Turn that thing off. It wasn't. It wasn't cool. It was super bright. Oh, don't do this to me. Come on. All right. Yeah, it's doing this thing.
Roughly, how much does that cost?
This?
Yes.
A lot. Probably, honestly, like $750.
Actually, get the Ed Spencer price.
Yeah, that for a meeting fixture, that's not expensive at all. I mean, this kind of stuff, Elation makes it, Martin makes it, this is American DJ who made this. So, it's pretty big step up.
Well, Martin Mac Krypton was like $5,500.
Right. It's ridiculous. And that's, see, it's got some brightness to it. Right? So, here it's moving around. And look how narrow that beam angle is. I mean, that's not like a white wash. That's a beam. So, it's
Actually,
cool.
it's an RGBW fixture.
Oh, you're right. You're right. I knew this reason I kept it around that. RGBW. So red, green, blue, and white. So what are you going to do? Here, check this out. Simple. Let's defuse it with a scrim. I take two of these. I do a pan invert, which is basically like mirroring the fixture. I've got one on each side, and it creates kind of a Hollywood look for everybody. Hits the scrim sometimes, hits the wall sometimes, and you get washed under the influence. So it's a cool look, I think. You get the crisscross behind you. I'm blind because I just looked at it, but it's a cool way to use it, and it's a cool way to use your scrim too. So more form, more function on this piece. So that's what I had to show you today. Does anyone have any questions? Any answers?
They looking into, let's say I don't want to use a computer to program my DMX, but I have these small par cans. Are they looking at anything where you can have a master slave, but then the slaves will be alternating, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, instead of all blue, all green?
If you step into that RGBW4C, you can actually assign your fixtures a little bit on that. There's some limited control. So you can do that on the small, basically it's a 4-channel DMX controller is what it is.
Right.
But there are a few options on there. Fixtures 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8. If you like 2 at a time.
And that's with what? Which one?
It's called the American DJ RGBW4C. So red, green, blue, white, 4 control. And that's 4-channel. It says W, but it could just very well be RGB-A for amber. It doesn't matter whichever kind of light you have. Quad LED at any rate.
Wait, but that's called a panel.
Brian, what was that one more time? American DJ or
Well, that's a really cool RGBW. Yes, I'm sorry. RGBW4C. Somebody holler?
What if I don't want, imagine that, I get something where, this is master, then I have a DMX, this one does 2, 3, and 4. This tells 2, 3, and 4 what to do.
Oh, wow.
I don't want a control panel. I want to be able to hang this sucker, make this master, and then within the circuitry of this, I'm able to tell the remaining 4 what to do instead of having to go back to the panel.
Are you doing like uploading on a wall kind of thing? Is that
No,
what
like a T-bar, a small T-bar.
You know what he wants, don't you? We don't have one here. They have a fixture out right now. It's really cool. It's under $400. It's called the Megapar Profile System. It comes with a tripod, and your lights are already on a T-bar for like watching the dance floor or whatever. You can absolutely do that. It chases back and forth. It's split pedal control. And the computer it's all built into the bar. The bar is actually the electronics of the thing, and then the actual lights are just the panels. There's no, guts in them, or, like LCD menu in them. He was going to bring one. He didn't. He said, I don't need that thing. Probably should have. It's exactly what you're asking for. It also comes in a jelly bar profile system, so you can also have those clear, lights if you like. Either way, they're real popular with bands. DJs are starting to use them a lot. They're pretty cool. Real simple. Again, I've used that system myself. I wasn't using it at first because I didn't have any 1 and 3 tripods that were powered. Well, now I do. For example, all 1 and 3, so I'll probably start using that system because I couldn't get it. I don't want to say I couldn't get it up. I couldn't. I couldn't. But here, just one hand. How's that sound? That's another story. Out to the bar, yes, sir.
In terms of versatility, because I know there's a lot of debate in the industry, RGBW or RGBA. In terms of functionality, versatility, and the full colored spectrum, where do you stand on that?
Yeah, that's kind of that's a goofy one. Actually, if I had to get one or the other, I'd get the RGBW because it's kind of a crappy amber, but you can make an amber with RGB, with the tri-LED. It's not great, it's a little greeny, but most of your clients won't know it. But you cannot make a pastel without white. So if your client wants pink, they're SOL unless you have white, to mix. So for that reason, if I had to do one or the other, I would get RGBW. Now, hopefully, and they would kill me for saying this, we'll start doing, the 5 RGB adapters. That's what we all want. We all need. I think where technology is right now, we don't want to pay for it. But, maybe... Pardon?
You'd be surprised.
Well, Martin had their LED 200 out 6 years ago that did those RGB AW fixtures.
Right.
IP65 rated, $5 grand a piece for
there you go.
For a bar can.
There you go. With the American DJ stuff, it's all about affordability. It's about what's going to be good value for you. They're not going to shove something down your throat that next year you're going to be able to buy for a quarter of the price because that's not good business for you or us. So it's about getting the technology not only where it needs to be, but also at the price point it needs to be at. That's pretty much how they do things on that. And it's, I'm going to step into elation, it's different. They're kind of like Martin White.
Brian, you were mentioning this, and I actually had a couple of people ask me as I'm walking through
Oh,
about that light. And this was a shot at the Las Vegas DJ show. This is the Mega Par profile right here. There's a jelly version and this version. It's basically, the system is a tree, the crossbar and the lights are bolted to it, and the controller basically is inside the crossbar at the top there.
What's that sexy beast standing next to it?
Yeah, that's a good question.
See, the problem with that is,
for me,
Go ahead.
is that if you already have an existing, like my T-bar, we have 3 systems, and the one T-bar I'm thinking about is triangular already, so I already have stuff hung. So I don't need another T-bar in the system, because I'm already hung the way I want it. But I want this. I was waiting for that to come out.
You're a better man than I am.
My children. But see, that's why, having this being the control center, to me makes more sense. Versus that, I could never use in my system. Because I would just never have the room to be able to hang that on my triangular truss that
I really think in your case, your best bet is going to be when this wireless DMX stuff's more available to you. I know it sounds like a pain in the ass, but it's not that. Especially when you're working with, 4 line faders, most of it's push button. And you can just set it and forget it if you want to, if that's what you'd like to do master slave.
Right.
Just set it and forget it. Here, I want it to do this chase all night, boom, walk away. It's probably your best bet. Ultimately, you could put them on just random and they'll just do stuff.
Shane, what other lights are you running?
Well, see, and I got Show Express too, so I mean, I really can't complain. I mean, that's,
The thing I would assume though, you're wanting to have something that's simple for your other DJs to use, and
Right.
I had a similar situation. Before I went to this, I was actually using the American DJ Duo Station, which gave me the ability to chase the control chases of the RGB fixture, and then it had 8 channels of on off, so I could turn on a vertigo with a light or whatever. So I could have the on off. I didn't want to get into DMX either.
It's a great piece.
I really liked it. The biggest problem I've had is that as soon as you get into RGB-A or RGBW, you can't use it anymore.
Right.
But I had that control and I had that light, and I had gotten a Jelly version of this, and after having it, I've gotten this almost exclusively. And the biggest, I'm just going to pull ahead here. First off, it's very, you just have a few pieces.
Sure.
But again, keep in mind, I don't like DMX. That unit, when I can have that down here on the floor and I can hit the blackout, they can do the sound control, which I don't do programs. There's, I'm going to say 1924, I don't know how many. But basically, I use programs 5 and 11. And then, of course, I can go to static color for slow dances. And that has become basically, my light show can be set up in 2 minutes or less, and that's my controller.
About what size dance floor can you cover with that?
I've done larger, densely larger than this with it. The programs that I've
With
chosen,
1 bar?
With 1 bar. Because I just turn the lights a little bit so they kind of stand out. And again, with the programs, some programs will have it where it goes, like on, off,
right.
Whatever. I don't like that. I want all 4 of them on. I can change colors for these things. And they'll be changing colors at different, this will be red, and then the red will go here, and then the red will go here, and it's going to be whatever. That's why I've selected some programs I like. But
okay.
for quick and easy, those profile systems are just, they're awesome.
They're cheap. Yeah, they're that for like $300.
Yeah, they're really.
Cat.
This is the Mega Power Profile, and the one I have is the Jelly, because at first I thought, I was looking at these things. Yeah, it's the same except it's clear. And I was looking at this at first when they first came out with the Jelly stuff, and I was like, gosh, I don't know how it's. Or after getting it and having it, I have had people, and I didn't think this was going to happen. People come up and say, that's so cool, because the whole case floats.
What's interesting about that, with the Mega Power Profile system, you have a more focused light, like if you want to hit something in particular. But with the Jelly Power Profile system, you know that the wash behind you is clear.
Yeah.
So the light goes in more than just, it's faint. It's definitely filtered. But you get a little bit of light behind it. So if you have that kind of behind you as a DJ, you get a little bit on your wall. You had a question over here, I'm sorry, and Dick got nutty.
Where do you see, like, after the pen across all, and maybe this is for Ed too, is well,
always for Ed.
Yeah, exactly. Prices and everything. Is in terms of like when all manufacturers go according to 5 colors in diode, right? So 5 colors per diode. Where do you think that it's going to go, knowing that's you can't get any better than that with the spectrum of 5 colors.
I didn't do it.
But then, do you see that it's going to be more of a consumption battery power issue then? That's where the technology is going to go?
It's always going to be something. It's been amazing stuff. In my career that has happened, I never imagined. Did anybody imagine an iPad? Anybody? I think back, because I've been doing this for way too long. A lot of you guys I'm sure have too. When I used to gig, I brought records out. I'm that old, right? Crates. And you pick the 12-inch records that you felt like were going to be the most versatile and be the best tracks for whatever gig you were going to do, no matter where you were going to go. You had 50 records maybe that would work at any party. And so you had to have these songs that, cross all lines. And then I went to CD. That was amazing. I could get, entire collections on a few little pieces of plastic. And my case lightened up. I had a lot more music with me. Holy crap, dude, I got 2 terabyte hard drives now. My laptop, I've got a laptop upstairs. I have 2 of them. They both have dual 1 terabyte hard drives. That's my music. No, the scary part is, that's not my video. That's on another drive.
Right.
Wow.
who would have imagined, even 15 years ago, that would be possible? Somebody said to me around 2000, he's actually a mechanical engineer, you know, someday it's all going to be computer. I'm like, no, it's not. Come on, you're a geek. This is never going to happen. And here we are. So we don't know where this technology is going to go. And I know that might be a cop-out answer for you, because I don't know where it's going to go. Who knows? Whenever technology becomes available, implement it. And when it becomes affordable, that's when we see it on our side of things. And when you step up to the super high dollar stuff, you're going to see it sooner. But it's kind of like Audi and Volkswagen. If you buy an Audi today, the technology that's in that Audi is going to be in a Jetta in 4 years. And then the Audi is going to have all this new technology. So it's just a cycle. And who knows? I have no idea where they're going to go, but I can't wait to see it. Because it's great stuff. It's so exciting to see what's going to happen in this industry. Things are getting easier for us. They're getting lighter. They're getting less expensive. And opening up tons of possibilities for all of us. And all we have to do is implement these things. Implement what we do and utilize these cool things we have available to us. Yeah.
Do you think that there will be less focus on brightness and more on something more, horizontal, like, the battery power, the cell, all of that versus...
Well, sure. And who knows? Maybe they'll come up with a cool lens that will do multiple beam angles for you. Maybe we'll be able to focus these diodes and go from, a 3-degree beam angle, to a 19, or who knows?
It already exists.
Well, there you go.
Is there an app for that?
Yes, there is. Our RGB bars,
Yeah.
and they come in lengths of 11, 22, basically multiples of 11 inches. And they have snap-on lenses that allow you to change the beam angles.
Right, well, you can just snap on. I'm talking about push a button, afford it. Be able to do it with anyone. Of course, you can, spend $50,000 on something like this. But wouldn't it be cool just to have it in your $99 fixture and have it work? It's getting not only less expensive, but it's getting better all at the same time, which is great for all of us.
We gotta wrap things up. We need to take 5 minutes, and we'll be back. Ryan, thank you.
First of all, real quick.
Okay.
No, good.
Well, what's your estimated time you think for the battery operated remote control upload?
January.
In
January.
And what's the price on it? Yes.
It's going to be individual pieces. It's going to be your park handling controller or your whatever controller. Bars, making cars. I have no idea what the price is going to be. What I can tell you is what I can tell you is the battery powered stuff is affordable for us right now. So if you're doing static, that's an option for you. When you step into this other stuff we're talking about, that's going to be the lithium powered, it's going to be available for that. I don't know, I'm sorry.
After NAM, you'll see videos, because Brian will be at NAM, they'll be introducing a lot of that there.
Yes.
And you'll see videos of Brian.
I've got some of it up from LBI. There's some on my channel. I did see the stuff. I'm not surprised it's pretty big. It's all prototype right now. There's some cool stuff to see now.
But at NAM, though, they should have those SRPs.
They're ready. Well, what's NAM mean? Do you know what NAM means?
National Association of Virtual.
No, not.
Not available. Maybe May.
All right, thank you very much.
Senator Jones' chair.
Have you dropped that? The durability of that hardware.
I don't have to go outside and turn it down. I
My timing.
not in terms of necessarily the sound, but in terms of the whole. Because obviously,